So what exactly does Roy Moore's loss in Alabama mean for Donald Trump and the Republicans moving forward? Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. A few final thoughts on the whole Roy Moore loss in Alabama, what it means for the president moving forward, what it means for the Republican Party moving forward. A lot of talking heads on TV, a lot of editorials saying last night was a really bad night for Donald Trump, or Tuesday night was a really bad night for Donald Trump. The question is, was it really that bad of a night for the president? Remember, President Trump in the primary, during the Republican primary, had actually endorsed Luther Strange. He did not endorse Roy Moore. He did not think Roy Moore would win in a general election. Trump even tweeted about that on Wednesday morning, reminding people, hey, I told you I was right. Roy Moore would not win in a general election. Think about it this way. Roy Moore was not the candidate Trump wanted. Trump was saddled with Roy Moore. And yes, Trump did. I think it probably wasn't the smartest of moves. Trump went out and finally endorsed Roy Moore just a few days before the election, held a big rally in Florida, did some robocalls for Roy Moore. So yes, Trump is tied to Roy Moore. Somebody in the White House probably should have told Trump, don't do it. Roy Moore, there's a good chance he'll lose or he'll underperform. Don't tie yourself to Roy Moore. Somebody should have told Trump that. Maybe they did and he didn't listen. I don't know. But it really wasn't that bad of a night for the president because there's no other candidate in the Republican Party right now like Roy Moore. There's no other Republican who has been accused of the things that Roy Moore was accused of doing. Whether they are true or not, no other Republican has been accused of the things Roy Moore was accused of. So it's hard to take this and really apply it towards Texas primaries. It's hard to, or general elections. It's hard to apply what happened in Alabama anywhere else because, again, there's no one else like Roy Moore running for election in these states during the midterm elections. So it's real hard to say that this is what happened in Alabama will play out elsewhere. I still totally believe that if Roy Moore were not the Republican nominee and it would have been Luther Strange, if it would have been just about any other Republican who had not been accused of what Roy Moore was accused of, they would have won Alabama by probably about 10 to 20 percentage points, as most Republicans do. I think that Doug Jones is going to, and again, congratulations to him. He won. He did what he needed to do to win, basically staying out of the spotlight nationally, not making this race about policy. He did what he needed to do to win. The fact is, he has to run again in 2020, and if I had to put my money on it, he will lose in 2020 to a conservative Republican. Alabama is not Democrat. Alabama is not even close to becoming a purple state. Alabama is a Republican state. Roy Moore, if you go back and look at Roy Moore's history in the state, back, I believe, during the 2012 election, Roy Moore brought in only about 52 to 53% of the vote, so he had always underperformed compared to other Republicans in the state, and, well, last night wasn't going to be great for the Republicans one way or the other. Again, you could try to tie Trump to Roy Moore and say that this is an indictment on Trump, that this is a flashpoint. I don't believe it is. I think that if Republicans can get through with the GOP tax cut plan, if they can show Americans that more money is flowing into their bank accounts, that the economy is looking good, I think Republicans can hold on to the Senate and hold on to the House. Now, it's going to be a little dicey. It's going to be a little bumpy. It's probably not going to be perfect. But I think Republicans still have a game plan moving forward, and they shouldn't fear too much about what happened. It's not the end of Trumpism, by the way. I've seen an article that says that Roy Moore broke Trumpism. No, this election wasn't about Donald Trump. It was about Roy Moore, and the defeat was about Roy Moore, not Donald Trump, not because of Obama, not because of anyone else. Roy Moore turns out was not a good candidate. Whether you believe the allegations or not, he never was able to mount a good enough defense to stop the media from going after him, to stop the accusers from coming forward. You go back to when Trump was accused of sexual misconduct. Trump came out forcibly and said this never happened, and he fought back against the allegations. Roy Moore doesn't have the same personality as Donald Trump, so it was harder for him to really come out and fight with everything that he had against those allegations. Roy Moore, we probably won't hear a lot more from Roy Moore. You'll have Democrats who bring up his name in the 2018 elections, but other than that, you're not going to hear any more about the accusers or anything else. Roy Moore is probably done, at least on the national stage. Who knows if he's done in Alabama or not. But is this the beginning of the end for Trump? Absolutely not. Does this mean you have a big blue wave rushing across America? Absolutely not. This was about Roy Moore in Alabama. If it would have been any other Republican, probably would have won by about 10 to 20 percentage points. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. Have a great day.